Welcome, Gemini and Gemini Rising, to your deep dive into the cosmos for October 2025. You are famously the sign of lightning fast thinking, lots of movement, and just this innate adaptability.
Uh-huh.
And it sounds like this month you are going to need every ounce of that flexibility.
That's putting it mildly.
Our mission today is really to chart these major energetic shifts coming your way, giving you the ultimate playbook for the coming weeks.
That's right. And for you, the whole flow of October really revolves around Mercury, your Quicksilver chart ruler.
Always Mercury.
Always Mercury for Gemini. Wherever Mercury travels, that's where your intellectual energy goes, your focus goes, and your chart is just intensely focused on movement.
Right.
And importantly, Mercury doesn't just govern your mind. It influences your body, your actions, your health, even your home, emotions, family life. It's key.
Okay, let's unpack this trajectory then, because it sounds huge. October feels like a three-act play for your focus. Mercury starts the month in Libra, kind of cozy in your fifth house of creativity, romance, fun.
Yeah, the good stuff. But that fun doesn't last too long. For the majority of October, Mercury takes a really serious, intense, deep dive into Scorpio.
Okay.
And it settles into your sixth house. That's the house of analytical routines, work, and health. It's a massive gear shift.
Wow, okay. From playtime to spreadsheets, basically.
Pretty much. And then finally, right at the end of the month, the mind shifts again. Mercury enters Sagittarius, landing in your seventh house of committed partnerships and one-on-one dialogue.
So we're moving from that lighthearted pleasure through this deep focus analysis period, and we end on relational intensity.
That's a great way to put it. It's a complete energetic overhaul that really demands adaptability. So let's jump into that first week because the month opens with a bit of friction.
Okay, starting right on October 1st, we see Mercury happy in your fun-loving fifth house, squaring Jupiter in your money-focused second house of resources. This sounds like creative wants running headlong into the financial ceiling.
It absolutely is. That's exactly the tension. Creative fulfillment versus resource stability. It's a day where you are just extremely likely to go overboard.
Oh.
Yeah. You might be fixated on some expensive hobby, splurging heavily on a hot date or a creative project, maybe spending too much on the kids.
Right.
This is the energy of buying those non-refundable concert tickets or suddenly convincing yourself you absolutely need that top-of-the-line home theater system right now.
Okay, question. If I'm a Gemini business owner, does this square mean I shouldn't invest in, like, a fun, creative marketing campaign, or just that I really need to budget it carefully?
You should absolutely budget it carefully. That's the key. The energy of Jupiter here means resource expansion is possible, but the square means you can easily misjudge the cost.
Gotcha.
Think about, the last time you impulsively bought a set of expensive art supplies you never actually touched. That's this energy. The excitement just overrides the reality of the balance sheet.
Okay, advice noted. Set strict budgets to balance the joy and the resources.
Exactly. Then, after handling that potential financial headache on the 1st, we see a deeper, more emotional cleanup starting around October 4th. This is Venus connecting with the South Node in Virgo in your 4th house of home and emotional foundations.
Ooh, Venus in the South Node. That sounds like clearing out old stuff.
Yeah, this transit is really powerful for releasing old family patterns, clearing out past comforts, things that might be keeping you stuck emotionally. The South Node often signals where we need to let go, especially around security and history.
That's fascinating because Venus also connects to your fifth house of creativity and your 12th house, the hidden self, or maybe donations. So this makes the 4th a really good time to purge physical excess tied to those themes.
Precisely, like those unused crafting supplies you mentioned, or stacks of sentimental items that are just cluttering things up, donating stuff you don't use anymore.
Getting rid of things that clog the sanctuary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful moment for freeing up energy in your actual living space, especially around items related to childhood or old passions.
Yeah.
It could also manifest more literally, like needing to replace outgrown kids' furniture, or maybe family members suddenly showing up for a visit. It's all about creating fresh space.
Okay, now we hit October 6th, which you said is the most significant shift of the early month. Wait, so we're moving from this high-energy fun and decluttering straight into the deep analysis of the 6th house. How sudden is that gear shift going to feel?
It will probably feel like turning off a party light and switching on a forensic lamp. Mercury shifts into intense Scorpio and settles into your 6th house of health, habits, and daily routines.
Wow.
Your mind, which was just focused on love and fun, is now laser-focused on analysis of work and health, deep dive time.
Okay, so this transition sharpens our focus, boosts productivity through detail, intensity.
Yeah.
So this is actually the perfect time for a deep clean, maybe a detox, or finally scheduling that doctor's checkup you've been putting off.
Absolutely perfect for that.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a job or maybe thinking about joining a new gym, this focused energy is great for digging into the details, really committing.
Mm-hmm.
And for all Geminis, this is a critical time to pay attention to pet health. Seriously. Especially because the Mercury pre-shadow period is incoming in this exact same sector. Keep an eye on the furry friends.
Good reminder. But that same day, October 6th, there's another major event demanding attention. The Aries full moon flares up in your 11th house of groups and friendships.
Yes, a very busy day. This full moon brings a culmination. It reveals social insights, impacts connections, especially those that were maybe initiated back during the spring solar eclipse.
Okay.
And the key insight is that Mars, the ruler of Aries and this full moon, is now located in your sixth house, the house of work and health that Mercury just moved into.
So the resolution of this social cycle, these friendships or group dynamics, is tied intrinsically to our routines and maybe our work life, or even physical output.
Precisely. It suggests activities where you blend the two. Maybe you organize a team-building kickboxing class, something active. Or start power walking with colleagues at lunch.
I like that.
Parties and gatherings are likely, given the 11th house placement. But with Mars there in the 6th, you do need to watch out for potential tension or conflict within group collaborations, especially at work.
Right. Mars can bring the heat. Okay, let's shift gears to mid-month now. Starting October 11th, the energy seems to pull you in two different directions. We hit a classic roadblock. Venus in your 4th house of home opposes Saturn in your 10th house of career and reputation.
Yes, and this tension really challenges your innate Gemini need for, mental freedom and movement. You're being forced to choose between the emotional safety and harmony of home life and the rigorous duties and maybe intellectual stimulation your career demands.
Ugh, I imagine this feels like constantly being needed in two places at once. If someone is trying to manage big life changes like relocating or dealing with in-laws, is this the worst day to do it?
It is definitely not a good day. Yeah. Not for signing leases, relocating, dealing with tricky family stuff, or even making major home furnishing decisions. Saturn brings delays, challenges, hard boundaries.
Okay, so avoid big commitments there.
Absolutely. Your critical planning advice here is really just prioritize self-care. Try to maintain that crucial internal balance between your ambitions and your home life.
Good advice. Thankfully, on the 13th, the energy seems to lift quite a bit as Venus moves into Libra, your sister air sign, and glides into your 5th house again.
Yes. Venus loves being here. It's romantic, fun, playful, creative, a breath of fresh air after that Saturn opposition.
So if you're a single Gemini or Gemini rising, this is like a cosmic green light to get out there.
Totally. This is your cosmic invitation to mix and mingle. Go to art events, craft fairs, find places with great live music. This flow really enhances creativity and brings genuine, joyful expression back online.
And what's really exciting here are the immediate alignments Venus makes. It immediately flows beautifully. It trines Uranus and your 1st house. That points toward what?
Yeah.
Major creative breakthroughs.
Yes, creative breakthroughs, really contacting your authentic inner child, sudden flashes of inspiration about you.
Nice.
And it also flows beautifully to Pluto, now in your 9th house. This promotes really powerful dynamics in long-distance relationships, maybe traveling with a partner, or finally committing to that deep artistic or educational course you've been thinking about. It's a time of profound positive change in those areas.
Okay, sounds mostly great. Is there any downside? You mentioned Venus still has some tricky aspects.
Right, the only shadow to watch out for is that Venus is still technically running opposition to Neptune and Saturn way across the sky. So you might feel a little unsupported in what you're creating, or maybe sense a lack of appreciation from others, despite putting your heart into it.
Okay, something to be aware of.
Also on the 13th, a really big one. Pluto stations direct in Aquarius, in your 9th house of expansive vision, law, higher education. This empowers huge philosophical transformations. Wow. Everyone feels Pluto stations, but if your Gemini placements fall early in the sign, like 0 to 2 degrees, you will feel this shift in perspective and worldview most intensely. This is about empowering your knowledge, your beliefs.
Okay, big stuff. Then that energy of expansion and maybe potential excess, it comes back again on the 16th. The Sun in Libra in the 5th squares Jupiter in Cancer in the 2nd, echoing that tension from the start of the month.
Yes, it echoes it, but this time, The sun, your ego, your core vitality is involved.
Yeah.
So the impulse feels more central to who you are. It amplifies self-expression and the urge to expand resources outwardly.
Okay.
The desire to create, have fun, or maybe overly spoil partners or your kids will be running really high.
So we're not just worried about buying ourselves that expensive gadget like on the first. This time we might be throwing a lavish, unnecessary party or making some grand romantic gesture that breaks the bank.
Exactly that kind of thing. Now, directing this energy into a creative business or a partnership can be hugely beneficial, but you absolutely must remember the friction of the square.
Yeah.
You've got to pump the brakes just slightly to protect your financial stability. Don't go overboard.
Got it. Pump the brakes. Let's move into the late month intensity then. October 20th sees Mercury meet up with Mars in Scorpio, back in that 6th house. Mars rules energy, action, conflict. Mercury rules you. This sounds like highly energized work talk and routine focus, maybe too energized.
It can be intensely productive, yes, but it can also manifest as literal physical issues, like fevers, digestion problems, or just severe mental stress and anxiety.
Oh.
Definitely watch out for conflict with coworkers or maybe issues with management because the pressure is really on. Things could get heated.
And should we be careful about physical injuries too? Like if we're rushing around trying to organize everything super fast,
Yeah.
cuts, burns, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Good point. You might feel a lot of energy to tackle your fitness routine, which is great, but be cautious. Don't overdo it and pull a muscle. Remember, this whole period is the pre-shadow before the next Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. So review those daily routines and try to pace yourself.
Okay, caution advised around the 20th. Then October 21st brings a lovely fresh start with the new moon in Libra shining brightly back in your 5th house.
Yes, a nice moment of potential.
Yeah.
This is a powerful, really heart-centered time for planting new creative seeds. Think new romantic starts, launching artistic projects, picking up new hobbies, or even focusing on conception or pregnancy if that's relevant for you.
A focus on the heart space.
Exactly. A huge positive emphasis on new beginnings in matters of the heart and creativity.
Then on the 22nd, two critical shifts happen. First, Neptune retrogrades back into Pisces, joining Saturn in your 10th house of career and public reputation.
Right. And for mutable signs like you, Gemini, this creates a rare, long-term square aspect between your sign and Pisces that's going to last well into early 2026.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is. This period brings increased visibility, maybe some karmic moments related to your career or public image. Work can feel challenging because the boundaries might seem blurry with Neptune there, but ultimately it could be deeply rewarding, especially spiritually or creatively.
So the challenge might be confusion about your direction or feeling uncertain about leadership, but the benefit is a deepening of intuition in your profession.
Exactly. Especially useful if your work involves anything like art, healing, nonprofit work, mental health services, anything where intuition is key.
Okay. And also on the 22nd.
Also on the 22nd, the sun enters Scorpio, lighting up that 6th house even more. This boosts your focus on daily health routines, maybe start that walking routine or commit to journaling. And it's significant because it really highlights the area where that upcoming Mercury retrograde will happen. So careful, precise communication at work becomes absolutely essential moving forward. Dot your I's, cross your T's.
Good advice. Okay, we wrap up the month on October 29th, when Mercury charges into Sagittarius, moving into the 7th house of relationships and partnerships. This is where the mental energy shifts entirely to dialogue, but, you said, with a potentially combative edge.
Potentially, yes. On the positive side, you'll desire intellectual connection. You'll be actively seeking engaging dialogue, maybe with clients, a new manager, perhaps a therapist. That part's good. But the challenge is Mercury is entering its shadow period, and it traditionally struggles in its opposite sign, Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy can be a bit verbose, maybe righteous, sometimes preachy.
Okay, so communication could get tricky, and then there's a major conflict aspect.
Yes, this is kind of the narrative climax of the month. Mercury immediately opposes Uranus, which is still hanging out in your 1st house of self-beliefs and perspective.
Whoa, Mercury opposite Uranus, self versus other.
Exactly. This transit sparks sudden relational shifts. It encourages personal innovation, which is good, but it really warns of intense, heated debates, like sudden arguments out of nowhere.
So, Gemini, your tendency to, cite articles, share statistics, talk about all the stuff you've learned might be seen as shocking or maybe extreme by a partner or close associate, leading to confrontations.
That's the risk. It could feel like really combative confrontations where perspectives clash hard. The key is to try and embrace the call for change and personal innovation that Uranus brings, but consciously choose to communicate calmly to navigate these potentially intense discussions. Find the middle ground if you can.
Okay, deep breaths needed around the 29th, so October is definitely,
Yeah,
yeah, a colorful month, defined by creative tension, demanding necessary adjustments in health and work, and culminating in these potentially profound relationship shifts. It's dense. So maybe we should give folks that quick reference guide for planning.
good idea. These are straight from the source material, just handy dates to keep in mind. Your best days for love and romantic flow look like the 4th, the 7th and 8th, the 18th, the 24th, and the 29th.
Okay, and opportune days, where things might just go a little more in your favor, doors open more easily.
Those look like the 3rd, the 8th, the 10th, the 13th, that stretch from the 19th through the 20th to 25th, and then again from the 28th through the 31st.
And if you're focused on money, financial stability, resources.
Watch the 12th and the 13th for some good flow there.
All right, and the flip side, the days you need to maybe watch out for, that could be a little stressful or more challenging.
Those are flagged as the 1st through the 4th, that early tension. Then the 6th for those big shifts, the 14th, the 16th of the Sun-Jupiter square, the 24th, and once again, that intense 29th.
You know, what's truly fascinating here is the heavy overlap between the challenging and opportune days. You mentioned the 4th, the 8th, and the 29th appearing on both lists.
Exactly. And that isn't confusing. It's actually perfect Gemini energy. It speaks to your core nature.
So it means that the challenge on the 29th, that intense relational opposition we just talked about, is simultaneously an opportune moment for innovation and flagged as a potentially good day for love somehow.
Precisely. You, Gemini, are ruled by Mercury, the planet of duality. You're literally built to navigate tension to achieve profound insight. Where there's friction, there's information.
So the message is, don't shy away from the complexity.
Absolutely. Go out and observe these cosmic energies in action this month.
Yeah.
You will likely find that the greatest opportunities for your growth often wear the camouflage of what looks like a major challenge.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective.